Coming to you live from the Elliott Avenue Studios, this is The Barbershop. Brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail, the official auto detail provider of the Seattle Seahawks. And by the Trufant Family Foundation, an organization aimed at improving the community one kid at a time. With Marcus Trufant, here's T. Holla.
Welcome to The Barbershop Show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. It's your boy T. Holla.
And yes, it's Marcus Trufant.
And we are hanging out on a blustery, windy, rainy Seattle night. It's like Seattle has stepped back to where we normally supposed to be right now, True. This is real Seattle, man.
This is real Seattle. For those of folks who are just visiting or in and out of town, this is the real Seattle. This is usually what it's like.
Yeah, it is. So don't come here. Like, you know what I'm saying? We are a property
Stay
tax.
away.
Property tax is already high enough. We can't find a place to live, can't find a place to eat, can't drive on the freeway. So, yeah, this is how it is. You don't want to come here. And make sure you stay away come spring as well, too.
Get out.
Get out.
Get out of here. Jesus. Get out of here.
Thank you guys for listening to the show tonight, joining us, whether you're sitting here in rainy Seattle or you're anywhere in the world listening to our iHeartRadio app. We appreciate you guys very much for hanging out with us for the next hour and a half.
Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody?
Y'all know what day it is. True, it is
Hump Day.
That's right. Wednesday, Barbershop Day, getting a little bit closer to the weekend. We got lots of stuff to talk about tonight. True, we're going to definitely talk a little football, college, and professional. We are going to do something we haven't done in a while here in the shop. Blank stare news, True.
Okay.
We haven't done blank stare news in a long time, man.
Right on
you
time.
know, it is that thing where you guys have been, you know, whether you've been online looking at some of these stories or you were at work across the water cooler talking to somebody and they told you a story and just made you have the blank stare go across your face. We're going to hear from you guys tonight and get your blank stare news stories. We got a couple ourselves. Definitely going to be talking about that and a whole bunch of other things that are happening in the world. True, what's been going on with you, bro?
Man, it's always a little bit of everything going on, you know, kids, family, moving. But I've recently just moved into a new house, right?
Yes, yeah.
So I got a nice little basement, and, you know, I've been a homebody. So
You've been hanging out in the basement?
I've been hanging out. I've been inviting people over to the house, man.
And people been coming?
People been coming, but I ain't invited everybody because I see where you're going. No.
I didn't say a word. You just saw my face get sad, though, didn't you?
I see where you're going, but I've been kicking it at the house like I'm really at the club, bro. Like I'm really in Vegas or something, bro.
Oh.
I got the nice little bar set up, and, you know, I got some adult beverages. So it's really been going down, man. I'm finding myself I see the way you're looking at me, T.
What am I looking like?
Next time, T.
Next time?
Next time.
I'm at a place in my life where I feel like I have a target on my back.
That's how I feel right now. I feel like I got a target on my back right now, True.
I say that all to say, man, that I've been going too hard.
Yeah, you got to slow down?
Yeah, I got to slow it down. I got to pull it back a little bit on the weekends. On the weekends, it's me and my wife time. We all week is tough. We got kids doing this, kids doing that. Taxi cab drivers are chauffeurs, so we usually go in on the weekends. But I think it's time
to reel it back in.
Pull it back just a smidge.
Take Vegas out of Seattle for a minute.
There we go.
And get it back to reality. Mm-hmm. I feel you, man. One of these days, I'm sure I'll get the invite.
I was just about to say, what you doing this weekend? T, if you
See, that's a whole other thing. See, I'm going to tell you real quick. I'm not going to dwell on it because I'm turning over a new leaf, True.
All right. Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to live in the positive. You know, as you know, I'm in the process of rebuilding the house as well, and been homeless for the last 6 months, so to speak, right? Been staying at the house, but we'll talk about that later. I had some issues today. I'm thinking I'm going to move in this weekend. I had some issues with my plumbing, True, and my plumbing and my plumber, which is, you know, I'm ready to fight a plumber. You know what I'm saying? Whoa. I'm ready to fight a plumber.
You're grown, T.
I'm grown. You can't do
fighting,
that, right? You can't do that. So I was having a really rough day, man. And I had to run back and forth to the little True Value hardware store up in Clearview, close to my house, trying to get supplies from my plumber. And I just wanted to give a shout out to the folks at True Value in Clearview, man. They really helped me out because I was really on the verge of crescent wrenching my plumber to the side of the head, man. But cooler heads prevail, True. But there's one thing I do know, since we're talking about cooler heads and everything right now. I wanted to talk to you about something that was very important. It was pressing on me for the last 3-4 days, man. The Seattle Seahawks are 5-3.
Ah!
Oh, the sky is falling, Drew. What are we going to do? Help us.
Help me, please.
Save us. It's burning. Oh, what are we going to do, Drew? Blair Walsh can't kick a field goal. We have no running game. Please, sir, help us.
One more chance.
It's panic mode in Seattle, man, because the Seahawks are 5-3. True.
Yeah.
The sky is falling. We're gonna definitely talk about this later on in the night, but I just wanted to get that out because tonight, that is the theme, man. It's panic mode. The sky is falling.
But y'all tripping.
The 12s around the world are tripping. They believe that the Seahawks are in a bad shape, and we want to find out tonight through our discussions whether it really is time to panic in Seattle or not. And we want to hear from you guys. Absolutely. 49451. Is the sky falling in Seattle? Do the Seahawks in trouble? Do we have to worry right now? We're going to cover it tonight. Make sure you stay tuned. We're going to, one thing I want to talk to tonight, True?
Who's that?
Macaroni Tony.
Okay.
I'm going to see, can I get Macaroni Tony on the line? Because, we always need that expert OG's voice in our ear.
man, that's wisdom right there. That's wisdom.
Yeah, in times like this, you always want wisdom. Speaking of wisdom, I want to talk to you about your OG.
Okay.
Your boy.
My dog?
Your dog, LeVar Ball.
Okay.
Not necessarily just LeVar Ball, but the Ball family, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've been paying attention, but LeVar Ball's other son, I'm going to call him the other son, LeAngelo Ball from UCLA. He's a freshman at UCLA, and UCLA went to China to play in a college exhibition game against Georgia Tech, I believe it was. And he got busted for shoplifting, True. 3 UCLA men's basketball players, LeAngelo Ball, Cody Riley, and Jalen Hill, all freshmen, were caught stealing, bro, in China. Now, there's so many layers to this before we get way off track. But first of all, I want to say, what are you doing stealing, LeAngelo? I know college guys do dumb stuff, True, but this is a new day and age, the day and age of social media. Why are you stealing, man? Your brother just became a multimillionaire. Your dad owns Big Baller Brand.
Triple B. But I'll tell you this, T. It's we got to get the real truth of this, and I know
the real truth.
It come down to exactly what happened. Was these did the guys know they were stealing? Did they look like they were
hell no.
glasses that may be gifts to the team, or
they were in the Louis Vuitton store.
They were in a Louis Vuitton store, but yeah, man, I think it's a tough situation, and this is the middle son.
Yes.
So maybe he's, a little
got
bit
some issues.
Maybe he's thugging on the low, and we don't know that, and maybe he's doing this and that. But when it all comes down to it, it was a terrible move by him as well as the other guys involved. And for him, he should have a little bit more training with his brother and his dad being in the limelight and being involved and everybody watching. There's always somebody watching. When you on the tube like that and when everybody's looking and your dad's very outspoken, people are waiting for you to slip up. People are waiting for you to do something silly like this so they can point the finger, bring down you and your family, and give the excuse, or did they go again? And these guys is always doing this and doing that. So I think it's terrible. I'm still riding for the young kid.
You got to ride for him. But here's the kick. So they're in China. And first of all, I have an issue with these guys going over to China and playing these exhibition games. I know it's a good life experience. They have the college football team that goes and plays in Australia. They doing all this football they're trying to do in Europe. Now they got the guys going to China to play
basketball. Is it money involved for the school?
Obviously.
Probably.
Yeah, obviously. It's money and there's exposure. You're exposing your school to
part of
a
the
whole
business
new market.
plan.
Exactly. The business plan that the players don't really get to, exactly.
benefit.
Exactly. But you're in China, though. Here's where I'm going with this. I don't know if you paid attention to this, True, but it's a communist country.
Right.
And they don't have the same rules as we have here. Matter of fact, in China, they said they have a 99.2% conviction rate. If they arrest you for a crime,
it's over,
you go into jail, and he's facing up to 10 years. So all that to say, man, you just if you're going to steal, first of all, and I'm not recommending anybody steal. Don't go to
If
school
you go
tomorrow.
steal, this is how you do it.
You don't go to school tomorrow and say T. Holler from the barbershop told me how to steal. But stealing from the Louis Vuitton store, don't you listen, to get a purse at Louis Vuitton, you talking 5, 6, 8, 10 racks to get a, by the way, for y'all that don't understand, racks means 1,000. Right.
Way to break it down.
I had
for
to
the
get it
people,
right
T.
because
Yeah.
all of our listeners aren't necessarily urban. But there are cameras everywhere.
Right.
Go to Chinese Target or the Chinese dollar store.
And, to be honest, you might be able to find some Louis Vuitton glasses or something in there.
Of all the
Right.
places you want to find
Yeah.
some knockoff stuff, China. Go to the knockoff Louis. They got. I'm sure there's a cool little alley.
I don't know what the knockoff Louis look like because you know what I'm saying. I'm shining out here, so I don't do it like that. But I've heard.
It's Dewey. It got a D on it. It's not.
I've heard.
It's got the Dewey baton on there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all I'm saying, man, best wishes to the kid. Hope everything works out. Speaking of best wishes, I want to talk to you about this guy. Some of you guys might know him as one of the main actors in the Fast and Furious series. We know him as a one of the best R&B singers out there, Tyrese. He's become famous on social media, true, in the last couple of years also, giving out sage advice, giving out wisdom, words of wisdom, relationship wisdom, and very outspoken.
Right.
And most recently, he's had some trouble. He had an online beef with Fast and Furious co-star The Rock, and he's had some legal issues with his baby's mama and child support.
Cheaper to keep.
Cheaper to keep her. And he went online. He took to Instagram to show his frustration and his pain with this video.
This is all I got. This is all I got. Don't take my baby, okay? I've been away from my baby for 2 months. I just want my baby, and no one's listening because no one's in the courtroom. I'm not doing anything illegal. But I don't want nobody. Oh my God, am I doing something illegal by doing this video, or am I protected by the First Right Amendment or the amendment? Don't take my baby. I'm at $13,000 a month. What more do you want from me?
I'm sorry.
See,
I'm sorry.
He's laughing at this man's
I don't
pain,
mean to
man.
laugh. I don't mean to laugh, but
Jeez, you're heartless.
He's putting it out there,
Nathaniel,
T.
Look, he did put it out there, but there's some things you just not supposed to put out. And look, please believe me, I understand, as a father, I'd never want to be separated from my child. Please let me let that be known. And I don't want any man to be separated from his child as long as he wants to be a part of that child's life. But it's the blessing and the curse, man, being able to be on social media and putting yourself out there like that, because they tow him up, true.
The social media kill you, bro.
Just like they'll build you up.
They bring you right down. What else do you want from me?
And that's the reason why I wanted to talk about this video, because in the barbershop, we always drop exclusives.
Yes.
Last year we gave you the exclusives of the Catch Me Outside girl. We were the first in the city to play the Catch Me Outside remix on the Barbershop show. And then we came with the Thanksgiving remix. You got lambs, rams, chickens. We're going to bring that back this year, right?
Right, yeah.
You name it!
You can't forget about the Black and Mild.
Can never forget about the Black and Mild remix, Shannon Sharp.
The best one.
Listen, true, like I know, like I always tell you, the internet is the heavyweight champ. It is undefeated. So tonight we are going to, nowhere else heard on Seattle radio, the debut of the Tyrese I Just Want My Baby remix. Nathaniel, hit it.
What more do you want from me? This is all I got. 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 Don't take my baby, okay? I just want my baby. I'm not doing anything illegal. I just want my baby.
Do you smell what The Rock is cooking?
I just want my baby. I just want my baby. I'm at $13,000 a month. What more do you want from me? I've been away from my
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but that song is slapping. My people are out of control. We always turn lemonade out of lemons, so we're going to have some fun with it, man. So, true. You might hear it a couple more times tonight, man.
Hey, man, I'm ready.
You ready for it?
I just turned my subs up, man. I'm ready.
What more do you want from me, True? I tell you what you going to get from me, True. When we come back, we're going to talk about a TV show that I watched last night. I got kind of pumped up about it, and I want to share some info on how it really made me feel and see how it would make you feel, True. And we're also going to talk about a little bit of college football, man. When we come back, it's the Barbershop. It's T and True right here on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Now back to the Barbershop, brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail and by the Trufant Family Foundation on Seattle Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Welcome back to the Barbershop Show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. It's T Holla and True hanging out on a blustery Seattle nights. Thank you guys for hanging out with us for a while. We'll be here till 8 o'clock talking a little bit about sports, but really mostly having a good time. That's what we do here. We like to invite you guys to hang out with us and have a good time, too. One thing we do want to make sure you know, just in case you did not know, the Seattle Seahawks are 5-3.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God, Trey.
Oh, no, the season's over.
The sky is full.
Fire Bevel! Fire Bevel!
Get rid of Cable! They suck! That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's all we've been hearing all weekend since the Seahawks lost on Sunday. And we're going to talk about that tonight. But we want to hear from you guys. Do you think the sky is falling? Is it time to panic about these Seattle Seahawks? 49451, let us hear from you. Are we going to the playoffs tonight? What concerns you? We want to hear from the people out there that are in the barbershop. So let us know what's up. True, I want to talk to you about a show I got a chance to watch last night. And before I talk about it, I want to ask you a question. Because you and I got a little bit of an age gap. I'm a little bit more seasoned than you are.
Just a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Were you into wrestling when you were growing up?
A smidgen.
A smidgen?
Yeah.
Just a little touch?
Yeah. I never got too deep into it during that time when wrestling. I was more of a Ninja Turtle type of guy than so much into wrestling.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
You was a Ninja Turtle?
I did a little bit, though.
You was that,
Michelangelo.
Are you a Michelangelo guy, too?
Yeah. Michelangelo versus, the Raphael attitude or, Leonardo.
Donatello.
Smarty Pants.
All right, we're not talking about no damn Ninja Turtles tonight, man. I want to talk about wrestling. I was not up late last night watching Ninja Turtles. You see what I said?
Ninja.
What is that word?
I'm just like an old man.
I'm country
just like
southern boy. Listen, boy, look here. We ain't watching no ninjas. No. So can I get into what I was talking about? Wrestling.
Okay.
I was a big wrestling kid. I love wrestling, man. And, there was a little I'm from I grew up in the South for a lot of while. And it was really big to watch wrestling. The guy I was really into was Ric Flair. Mm-hmm. There were a lot of guys were into the WWF and Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. But Ric Flair, man, and the other network had might as well call it 30 for 30 special on Ric Flair. And I had to sit down and watch it last night. And, bro, it was just so amazing to watch because I forgot. You get so into guys who made it really big on a national scale, like the Hulk Hogans,
right?
And those guys. And this guy was such an incredible figure, in the world of sports and athletics and entertainment. Like he really set the bar high in the world of not just professional wrestling, but in the world of swag. Like when you think about swag and you look at some of the athletes out here that talk the most trash and walk the walk and talk the talk, and you look at the world of hip hop, and those are two things that I'm really, really passionate about: hip hop music and sports. Yeah. And I think Ric Flair has such an incredible impact in both of those worlds, man. You look at this guy; he comes out with the bright, colorful boas and the robes and whatnot, and he comes out talking so much trash and backing it up. It was just, to me, it was really good to watch. I don't know what you know about Ric Flair, True.
Well, yeah, I know a little bit about Ric Flair, man. And just like you said, T, that carries over to the sports. It carries over to hip-hop. You see guys getting warmed up for the games or guys getting in huddles during pregame, and they're doing the Ric Flair speech.
Woo!
Yeah, the Rolex wearing and all that.
Listen, matter of fact, I got it right here for you, True.
Okay.
Just so the people out there who might not be familiar with how
let them know, T.
how swagged up Ric Flair was.
A little bit of pimp in him too.
He had a whole lot of pimp in him.
Get ready. Woo! We on tour, and we're doing it better than anybody else alive. Now, Buddy Landell, it's so hard for me to sit back here in this studio looking at a guy out here hollering my name when last year I spent more money on spilt liquor in bars from one side of this world to the other than you made. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down.
I don't think you heard Ric Flair, True. Woo! Woo! He's the kiss stealing, Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, limousine riding, jet flying, wheeling dealing son of a gun. He's having a hard time keeping these gators down.
And it's crazy, T, because in the last couple years, you could go through many a hip-hop song and you could hear snippets of this.
Yes.
Just not in the huddles of the NBA and in the NFL. This has crossed over to music, so it's heavy, and it just shows the type of impact that he had on everybody.
Absolutely. And there's a couple things that I just wanted to mention about this before we go to break real quick is, in watching it, it just brought back so many memories, but there's some things that I did not know about Rick. And I thought it was just important for me to talk about tonight was the fact that he quit. When he first, he was a football player. He didn't work out as a football player at University of Minnesota. And then he went into this wrestling program and he quit. He gave up. It was hard. It was too hard for him. But the coach convinced him to come back and persevere. And he went through a long road where he was not very good. And he actually ended up being in a airplane crash.
Oh, yeah?
He was in an airplane crash and broke himself up and got down to 85 pounds. And he had to fight his way back and said once he broke his body up, he decided this is what he wanted to do, man. He wanted to be the bad guy. He wanted to be the guy that had all the money. He wanted to be the guy that everyone envied, that had a lot of women. And he focused on it and became that. So, I mean, it just was so – in so many ways, it was inspiring, to say, look, man, you can, if you really grind and put your nose to the grindstone and work at it, you can make your dreams come true, man, regardless of your situation.
I love it, man. I love it. And that's a story that I know that they tried to tell. And to be honest, T, I told you this earlier. I was trying to find it on the DVR, but somehow, some way I missed it. So it's coming on tomorrow, I guess, for those who are like me and missed it. I've been hearing about, seeing it all on social media, but it's a good story, man. It talks about, the rise that you come from the fall and you keep grinding out, man. And I know he had a lot of ups and downs, but he left a heavy impact on culture in general.
Did. Absolutely did. And one thing I'll tell you before we get out of here, I remember growing up when we was living down south and, having two brothers and, a whole school full of homeboys. One thing we used to always do, you could never get away with it in these days, man. We watch the wrestling moves on Saturday and come to school on Monday and try them out on each other.
Oh, yeah.
And Ric Flair used to have the figure four leg lock, and we used to always try to put it on somebody, man, like make somebody lay down and put the figure four leg lock on somebody. And then we always had one kid that would put it on and never let it go.
and then
it'd be turned into a real fight, man. But shout out to the Ric Flair, man. You're very inspiring with what you did, man. And if you get a chance, go check it out. Hey, when we come back, though, we want to know from you guys, man. Are these Seattle Seahawks in panic mode? Help the Seahawks! When we come back after this next break, we're going to talk about the Seattle Seahawks and if they're in panic mode. It's T and True in the Barbershop on 950 KJR.
Now back to the Barbershop, brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail and by the Trufant Family Foundation on Seattle Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Welcome back to the Barbershop Show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. It's T Holla and True. About 6 minutes after 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night in Seattle. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, whether you're here in Seattle or listening around the world on the iHeartRadio app. We appreciate you hanging out with us in the barbershop. Lots to talk about. Tonight, the theme of the show was the sky is falling. If you've been in Seattle or around Seattle, you're a 12 fan, or you have the internet, and you've been watching the Seattle Seahawks talk, the sky is falling. This team, after they lost this past weekend to the lowly Washington Redskins at home in CenturyLink Field, everybody has been up in arms. The team is going downhill fast, true. We are upside down on fire in a ditch, and there's no hope for the future at 5-3. So I just want to hear, first of all, from the people out there listening to the barbershop, what you guys think about it. 49451, we want your opinion on whether you think the sky is falling on the Seahawks team. True, we watched this game, man, this past weekend.
Right.
It was just, to me, I'll just be honest with you, it was just kind of a weird feeling. I had a weird feeling for the majority of the game. And I really couldn't put my finger on it until it was all done. And even when it was all done, I still could not put my finger on it, because going into it, I was just absolutely certain that it would have been a walk in the park. But it's something that you have always said, and I've always known, and we always talked about it. It's the National Football League, man. And those guys are professionals, and anything can happen, man. So, I mean, from your perspective, there was, again, I don't even know where to start at, True. You look at this Redskins team, they walked into Seattle really beat up. They didn't even have enough players to fill a full roster.
Right.
They have 4 offensive linemen that were injured. If they had another offensive lineman go down, they were talking about putting either a tight end or a defensive lineman on the offensive line just to fill in.
They had 4 offensive linemen who were injured.
Yeah.
On that final drive, those were 4 backups.
Exactly. So, what is your opinion on the game, first foremost, True?
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to say, especially to the 12s, to other radio hosts, or anybody that's in the city that, of course, has, a microphone or anything, that the Seahawks are still a good team. The Seahawks. You
sound so positive right now.
No,
I almost feel calming and zen-like when you speak like this.
That's how you got to be. And I've always had that skill, T.
Yeah.
Never get too high, never get too low. You want to be even, and you got to, like Chris Richard says, treat both imposters the same, the positive and the negative. But I will go to say in the Redskins game, it wasn't so much, offense and defense and the blocking and the pressures on Russell and all that kind of stuff. It was just the basic execution of football 101.
Yes.
When you have a bunch of penalties and you're doing things that are going to, 2 steps forward, 3 back, I don't care how good you are, it's going to make it very tough. If you're playing against the worst team in the NFL, it's going to make it tough to come out on top. So I think that was more of the underlying issue. And I know there's plays here, there's plays there. And you got field goals, of course, too, that play a huge part in the game. It changes the dynamic of the game. You have to change
field goals.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got to go for 2, and you got to do this, you got to do that. So it's when all that stuff is coming down on you, it can make any good team look subpar or any team look bad. So I think that was the underlying thing for me. I'm still like the plays that the defense come out and do. I was watching the game. I was on my Twitter. I'm waiting for all the good plays. Dwight Freeney.
Still waiting on him.
Dwight Freeney is coming out and making great plays, man. He's producing. He got the spin move on point, man. It's really coming through. So there's a lot of bright spots. But like I said, penalties and field goals and poor execution is my underlying.
Absolutely poor execution. You talk about the penalties, True. You're talking about 16 penalties for 160-plus yards, and that's not including the fact that on a couple of those plays, there's a 50-yard play basically to Doug Baldwin that gets negated, and then not only does the 50 yards come back, you got to go back 10 yards from that. So that's a lot of yardage taken off your stat sheet, and you got an opportunity to score some field goals. You have 3 field goals that were missed by Blair Walsh. And I don't care where you are or what level of football you're playing, that's virtually unacceptable for any kicker to miss 3 field goals in a row. It makes it hard for your team to lose, especially when you're talking about you lost 17-14, man. It's just unacceptable for that to happen. I know that the Seahawks going into the game, they wanted to get the running game off the ground and running. And one of the things that they wanted to do in order to do that was focus on Eddie Lacy. They said, Eddie, of all our running backs, we've been going running back by committee for this entire season, we're going to give you the ball and let you run with it. And so the game started, and I'm like, okay, Eddie, you're going to get a shot and do your thing. And he gets hurt.
Right.
He gets hurt, man. And it's been the Achilles heel of this team all season has been the offensive line and that running game, getting that off to a good start. So we had Thomas Rawls, who we had so much hope for, who has spent a lot of the time this season on the sideline injured. C.J. Prosise, who had glimpses of greatness years ago. He hasn't played at all this season. Right. Then you got Eddie Lacy, who's been pretty much ineffective up to this past week. And he had some pretty good runs to start the game. He's injured, gets a groin injury in the first quarter, and he's done for the day. Our leading running back on this Seattle Seahawks team is on the sideline and hasn't played in over a month because he has a broken leg, Chris Carson. Mm-hmm. And it's just unfortunate. I mean, I think that – I don't know if that gives us reason to panic, True, but that gives us some cause to concern.
Well, this is my thing, T. I've said it plenty of times on our show that I know we want the running game, and that sounds good. We want everything to start through the run, and this is what we're going to do. But if that's not what we do, that's not what we do. Right. And you got to go with what's working. Don't try to just make sure I get this right. Don't squeeze. What is it? A square
peg into a round hole.
Into a round hole.
Yes.
So just do what you do. If the run is not working, just use the run just enough to make sure that the pass is efficient. And you use Russell. I know we don't want to get him hurt, but we got to do what we do. And I keep saying it, and it's no disrespect to the offense, but the defense has to lead this team. And if the offense isn't working right and things aren't going well, the defense and all the all-stars we have on defense, they got to step up. They got to make those big plays. You got Legion of Boom back there. You got all these guys at linebacker on the D-line. You got Bobby Wagner that's playing.
Everything right now, True.
All world,
Bobby Wagner is playing the best linebacker I've seen of anybody in the last 20 years.
And they got to be like the old school Ravens.
Yeah.
Old school Ravens. You got to score on defense, and you got to get the ball back to the O.
Well, we've been wanting to ask you guys all night, is it time to panic? Is the sky falling? Thank you guys for your text messages. From the 509, it's not a disaster, just a disappointment. You know how people always say that I'm not mad, just disappointed. Right. I don't know if that's worse. I'd rather,
we're spoiled in Seattle.
Yeah, we are kind of spoiled. Yeah. From 206, it says, the sky isn't falling, but if it was and everything is so bad and we miss 3 field goals and still only lose by 3, I don't know. Man. True. I mean, we've been hearing from the people in Seattle, but there's just sometimes you got to get an old, wise voice. Mm-hmm. And we have a friend, an old, wise voice who's a friend of the Barbershop, and he always gives us good advice, man. And I want to reach out to him real quick, try to get him on the line. You guys know him. You guys love him. His name is Macaroni Tony. Let me see if I can dial him up real quick, True. Hold on. Where's his number? Who's the? Got it right here. Macaroni.
Yeah. What's going on with it, fella?
What's going on with you, Mac, man?
Everything. What ain't going on with me is the question. It'll be a quicker answer for y'all.
You always got a lot going on, man. Hey, listen, man, thank you for joining us here on the Barbershop Show, man. True's here with me, man. We've been wondering all night long. We want to get some advice from you, man. I know you've been watching these Seahawks.
But, I from time to time, I keep an eye on them. I normally with a woman every time the game is on. So in between cuddling and caring for her, I tend to see what's going on.
Cuddling
stay
and
with
caring.
a woman.
Like
cuddling and caring, yeah. Do you think it's time for the Seattle Seahawks to panic, for the fans in the city to panic?
Panicking is not a good thing to do. It's not good for the blood pressure.
True.
Okay, it's not good for the nerves. However, you need to be worried and you need to be concerned.
Oh, okay. You just gonna leave it at that, huh? Where
I got a question. I got a question for the Mac Man. I got a question. So I've been saying it every other show that this Seattle team is more of a defensive team versus an offensive team. I know we want to push the run. We want to, try to get Jimmy Graham involved in this and that. But what do you think, Mac? Do you think this is a defensive team or do you think this is an offensive team?
Let me show that to you honest, fellas. Can I be frank with you?
Please be frank.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I will. Due to the nature of our team in the past, I've always just kind of taken for granted that the defense is gonna pull through and do what the defense does. All right, so normally, like I said, when I'm watching the game with a woman, normally during the defensive time is when I'm really spending my time engaging with my woman. So I don't really watch a lot of what the defense do. Okay. However, every time I lift my head up, I see Russell running. That's all he does is run. Listen, I think Russell needs 2 or 3 paychecks, man, because he's doing everybody's job out there, man. I mean, why you pay a running back if all Russell do is run? Listen, you know, some people run a wing tee, some people run the wishbone. Mm-hmm. I think Beverly. I think Coach Belvedere got them running the run.
Macaroni. Coach.
Run. That's all they do. Run.
Macaroni Tony. Coach Bevel. Not Beverly. Coach Bevel.
I said Belvedere.
My bad.
Either way I go. The defense don't even look as strong as a unit as they normally do. You know, they're letting a lot of points get up there on the board. So I'm just worried for the offensive side of the ball. I just don't think they have the talent or the chemistry to really put it through. So that's why I say don't you panic, but you got to be concerned. Okay. Because Russell, I mean, if you listen to him, let's be honest, man. If you look at the offensive game plan, I think all they got to do in practice is just let Russell run wind sprints. I think he got to be the most in shape fella on the team. All they do is twist and run and turn, and it's not good for the man.
So you say we are using Russell Wilson way too much. He is basically the entire Seattle Seahawks offense.
That's all they do. If it's not for Russell, he scratch a play out. He scratch a play out and make a play work. Otherwise, it's a complete breakdown. If you got Tom Brady back there, Tom Brady don't make those plays because he don't have the footwork like Russell do. Yeah. And like I said, Russell's in good shape. He probably run a lot of lines, a lot of suicide.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Barbershop Show. We are on the line with our friend Macaroni Tony. Before we get to you off here, Macaroni Tony, and we don't need to be panicked about this season right now. We just need to be concerned, according to the Mac man. Concerned. What about this coming week? We got a game tomorrow. It's a short week.
Run.
The Seahawks got to go down to Arizona. The ticket to come out of Arizona with a win is run, Russ, run. Is that your advice?
Run. I got a T-shirt on right now. I have my little niece make me a little T-shirt. You know how the man Alonzo Ball, one of them Ball, they got the triple B. I think the new thing around here need to be Russell 3, R3. Run, Russ, run.
Run, Russ, run. You heard it here first. You heard it first here on the official Barbershop, ladies and gentlemen. We might go out and get T-shirts made tonight. Triple R, run, Russ, run.
I'm ready.
Yeah, forget a game plan.
Hey, listen, Mac, man, we got to get out of here real quick, man. But before we do, man, one thing that we always love to do is get a piece of advice from our guy Macaroni Tony. He always gives us a piece of life advice before we leave. So,
that's the police, babe. Maybe that's the police.
Macaroni.
Fella, I think the police don't pull up. Listen here, honey. Hold on, fella. Hold on, honey. When the officer is loud, he gonna come up to your door. I don't want you to hop out the door and act like you're having a seizure.
Mac.
No, baby, baby.
The police got you?
I'm going. No, baby, you gonna be all right. You white.
Please, Mac.
I got the police.
Macaroni. Did we lose him, True?
I think we lost him. Mac, man, I lost him.
He just hung up.
I think Mac got some legal issues going on right now.
Our prayers go out to Mac, man.
Man, we gonna have to hit
Free
him.
Mac.
We gonna have to hit him next week and see if he's free, man. We're gonna run with the triple R though. Run, rush, run. That's gonna be the key to the Seahawks victory this week and from now on for the rest of the season. I hope Mac Man run, rush, run. I hope he got away, bro.
Mac
Is that the craziest segment you've ever heard on radio in the history of your life?
It might be up there close to the top, man. Hey, I'm going to see if we can get him on the line during the next commercial break. When we come back, though, we got to get to the bottom of the Seahawks ding. Keep hitting us with your text messages. Is the sky falling? Is it time to panic for the Seattle Seahawks? 49451. Hit us up. It's the Barbershop on 950 KJR.
Now back to the Barbershop, brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail and by the Trufant Family Foundation on Seattle Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Welcome back to the Barbershop Show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. It's T. Holla and True hanging out with you guys. We'll be here till 8 o'clock. Thank you for joining us here in the shop, having a great time, except for the fact that on our last segment we had our friend Macaroni Tony on giving us some advice about these Seattle Seahawks, and it seemed like he had an eventuality, True.
Eventuality?
He ran up on the rocks.
Yes, he had some situations and things going on, but I hope he's all right. It sounded like he got pulled over by the law while he was on the call, so we got to check in with my guy later, make sure him and his woman is good, right?
Yeah, I hope so. He is asking his woman to do something that we can't condone here. Do not fake a seizure. If the cops pull you over, ladies, do not fake a seizure so your man can strike out running. We do not condone that. Macaroni, we'll be checking in with you next week to make sure everything is okay. We've been getting a lot of texts from the Seattle Seahawks fans out there because we've been wondering, is it time to panic? Is it time for the sky to be falling on the Seattle Seahawks season at 5-3? Because they lost to the lowly Washington Redskins last week in an ugly fashion. Lots of questions about this team, man, the special teams issues. Blair Walsh missing 3 field goals is something we're going to have to deal with. They're not going. Pete Carroll did come out last week, at the beginning of this week, and said, nope, I'm not touching it. I'm not bringing in any kickers.
I like that.
With Blair.
I like that, T.
I mean, I like it for now. But, some things have, you just can't keep doing the same thing expecting different results.
Oh, man, and Russell Wilson, he threw, a couple interceptions, almost gave up a couple more, and you're not going to bring in another quarterback. I know that's going a little far, but I'm saying I like that you ride with the guy, man, and you're going to ride with him and give him a chance to come back up, man. You brought him in here for a reason. So.
Right. And I'm still not exactly sure what that reason is. We had a perfectly good kicker in Stephen Hauschka. I know they didn't want to spend the money, but golly, man. There are a couple games this season that the Seahawks could have won had we had an extra 3 or 6 points. 3 points, really.
Business.
And I know it is a business.
It's a business.
We love to say that. Thank you guys for your text messages. From the 206, True, did we watch the same game on Sunday? The running game was working. They decided to throw 45 passes and run an empty backfield and even more. That's why we didn't win. I don't know if that's really the reason. We talk about the running game. The Seahawks had about 140-some-odd yards rushing. 77 of those rushing yards came from Russell Wilson. Run, Russ, run. So it wasn't like we just had a prolific running game. Eddie Lacy got off to a pretty decent start, but he got injured. He had to come out of the game.
And this is my thing, and this goes for everybody in the NFL. Teams aren't patient, and that's where turnovers and stuff happen. The running game was kind of sputtering along, and NFL offenses, NFL teams want to move forward. They want to score big touchdowns. They want to make big plays, and if that's not happening, you can't stick with a running game that's going to give you a couple yards here, a couple yards there. They want to see the big-time plays, and then they're not really getting that from the running game. So there comes all the passes that you just talked about.
But I think the two go hand in hand, and I think you look at back when the Seahawks were successful, it was considered a run-first offense, and I think this team has actually transformed itself, and I'll talk about that here in just a second. But when you have a successful running game, True, that opens up the playbook so much more because now play-action pass becomes believable. I believe it when you reach the ball out and you pretend to give it to Eddie Lacy when he's been racking up 4 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards of carry, breaking off 12, 20-yard one-at-a-time runs.
Explosive plays. That's the thing that the Seattle Seahawks defense tries to stop, those explosive runs, those explosive passes. If I remember correctly, that's anything over, 12 yards or something like that. And we're not really getting that out of the running game on a consistent basis. So that's where the, I guess you can call it panic of the offense. They go to what they think they can count on. Is Russell Wilson going back and improvising and making it happen?
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to get the perspective of some of the barbershop listeners out there, whether they think the sky is really falling, whether they think it's time for us to panic. Because 5-3, there's a lot of teams in the league right now that wish they were 5-3 for one. 5-3 is not the end of the road. Of course, we want to be the number one seed when it comes to the playoffs. We want that bye. We want that home field advantage, and some of those things are looking like they are slipping away with the way some of these other teams in the NFL and the NFC are playing. You got the Eagles that are playing incredible football. The New Orleans Saints are very good. The Los Angeles Rams with Jared Goff, they're doing their thing down there. So it's making it tough. It's making it the road a little bit narrower for the Seattle Seahawks, but they're still a very good team. True, they are 4th in the NFL in total offense, 2nd in passing offense, and 10th in scoring. So all that being with 32 teams. Mm-hmm. So they're okay, man. They are going to be okay. And like me and you are always kind of try to be glass half full guys.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, T. It always looks they used to say this in the meeting room, man, after a game. Even if you have a good game and you thought you was balling, I came out the game with 3 interceptions. It's never as good as you think, and it's never as bad as you think. Always when you go back and you look at the film, teams say, all right, I was 1 block away, and this could have happened, that could have happened. A lot of that is true. So, the Hawks are – and I know that the fans are probably tired of hearing it, that it's a work in progress. Even with the Jimmy Graham project that I still like, and I know a lot of people are ready to run him out here, but he's still a big-time player. And he's had some drops and he's done some stuff, but he's still Jimmy Graham, and he can still make it happen. So I'm not giving up on that. And I'm going to ride with that, man. And I think that eventually we're going to find it together. And even if it's not the running game, even if it's just a Russell to Jimmy, and that's, steps in for the running game, I'll be good with that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I gave you all those numbers. And again, I tend to agree with you, True. I think they're going to be okay. They got some things they need to tighten up. But, we always like to get the flip side of the coin. You know what I'm saying? And, of course, if you have listened to the Barbershop show before, you understand that there's a guy that's an associate of ours that always likes to give us the other side of the coin. And no matter what the Seattle Seahawks do, no matter how good they're playing, even when they went to the Super Bowl, he hated them. He always hated them. And it's the friend of the Barbershop that always gives us the other side of the coin, hating-ass Harry. I'm going to see if I can get him on the line. Hating-ass Harry. Are you on?
What's up? Yeah.
What's going on with you, man?
Hey, man. Hey, instead of playing that Hating Ass Harry song, y'all should have played this right here.
Harry, we can't even hear what that is, man.
That's that Nash theme song. Because you know why? Hey, the Redskins came into the clay and gave them the business. You know what I'm saying? With a mass unit.
Oh, come on, Harry.
With a mass unit. Hey, a third of their team was hurt. How does a third of your team hurt and they still beat the Seahawks in Seattle? How? Because you know why? The Seahawks is trash. Their offense is trash. Their tight ends trash. Their running backs trash. Everybody's trash.
Wait a minute.
Trash.
Oh man! Hey!
You can't tell us. Okay, I understand you hate them, but you can't tell us that. You can't really make us believe that the entire team is trash. I just read off some incredible stats, and I hope you were listening to the show. The Seahawks are 4th in the NFL in total offense, bro. 2nd in passing offense and 10th in scoring offense. You can't call that trash.
Man, come on, man. Hey, everything that you just said is because of Russell. Russell did all that. Your tight ends didn't do that. Your running back sure in hell didn't do that. Your receivers don't put up numbers like that. That's all Russell. You take Russell out the equation, you guys have nothing because you guys are trash.
Listen.
Your offense is trash without Russell.
You are listening to the Barbershop Show. We got hating ass Harry on here. He hates everything Seahawks.
Check this out. Hey, my side chick can kick better than Blair Walsh too.
Oh man, hey.
And let me ask you this, though, Harry. So, any team in the NFL, if you get as many penalties that the Seahawks had and you miss 3 field goals, it should be a blowout. It should be this, it should be that. But the Hawks, they barely lost. So, the Hawks can't be that sorry. They didn't execute very well, but they can't be that sorry. What you say to that, Jack?
Come on, man. This is a rerun of what happened with the Niners. You guys barely beat them. The same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need a heroic performance from Russell again to beat the Niners, at the beginning of the year.
He's not wrong.
You guys are just bad. You guys are just bad. Just face it. I understand you guys are part of the Seahawks and whatnot and this and that, but you guys just got to be realistic, man. You guys are horrible. If the playoffs were to start today, you guys would be at home chilling.
Actually, that's not true. That's not true. They would probably be a wild card.
That is true. You guys don't even got a wild card. You guys don't even have a wild card right now.
I would say that the Seahawks aren't the Seahawks of old. We're still a work in progress, but we're still a very good team. We are still a great team.
Hey, you're a work in progress? Hey, true. You might as well join the ARP team then because, what did that dude do, Dwayne Brown? What did he do the other day? He didn't do anything.
He blocked a little. He had a pretty decent game for a guy.
Wasn't a lot of sacks, was it?
Yeah, he didn't allow any pressure. He actually.
Man, Russell's still running around with his head cut off. Man, cut this out, man. Cut it out. Hey,
listen.
Hey, let's talk about your defense. Let's talk about
them. They were very good for 3 3/4 of a quarter. They were very good until that last drive.
Man, they haven't been good all year. Let's cut this out, man. Let's talk some real stuff, man.
What is the defense ranked? Hey, you know what the defense is ranked?
They're doing. Listen,
Nate.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, Nate, you looked that up, but
I'm
I'll tell you,
they're not top 10 defense though.
They were.
Nate, and Nathaniel, look that up, sir. Look that up.
Hey, wait a minute, man, Harry. You just can't be telling my Nathaniel what to do.
Oh man, hey.
Now, hey, listen. Let's get off the past, though, real quick before we got to go. Let's get off the past. Let's look to the future because they're looking to rebound. They had a short week. They got to go down to Arizona. I think they have a great opportunity to come out with a victory against, and you're talking about an aging team, an aging Arizona Cardinals team that doesn't have a Carson Palmer, has an aging Larry Fitzgerald. They got a guy like Adrian Peterson running a rock that went 37 carries last week. He's probably going to be kind of beat up against that defense that is ranked. Nathaniel?
Total defense, they're ranked 11. They allow 322.5 yards a game. The number 1 defense is still somehow Denver, with Jacksonville being 2 and Minnesota being 3.
Oh, the LO bums are trash.
Oh, hey.
LO bums. Okay, so what do we look like then? Can we at least say they're going to come out with a victory against this beat-up Arizona Cardinals team?
No. They will lose. Just because AP's going to run right through them.
No, I don't believe
He's going to run through them.
Hell no.
Hey, check this out. Hey, why don't you ask Nathaniel to look up AP stats for the last 2 games that he's been there?
He's been running. I know he's been running.
I mean,
he had 37.
He ran all over my 49ers
okay, that's all I wanted to hear.
The 49ers and who else was he?
You can. That's
Buccaneers,
like wet tissue paper, man. You can run. The 49ers defense is wet tissue.
They're very injured. That's why.
The 49ers so wet that you guys couldn't even run. How many yards y'all put
But that's old stuff, though.
Oh, okay, it's old.
That's old stuff, Mr. Hate, sir. We're moving forward.
If you want to end this, the Seahawks rushing defense is ranked 15.
Your leading running back is Russell. He's your leading rusher.
That's okay.
Run, rush, run.
Hey, that's how our team is built. Everybody's different, brother.
Oh, God, yeah. Okay.
Hey, listen, hating ass Harry. Hey, we're going to check back in with you next week after these Seahawks go down to Arizona and get that victory. We good with that?
Hey, we good. But, hey, can I ask one question, though?
Please.
I have one question. Hey, Is it still hot gang or no bang? Hot gang, baby. Hot gang, baby.
Hey, man.
No bang.
We gonna catch up with you next week, Harry. The player hating ass Harry. Hey, when we come back, though, we are bringing back a segment we have not done in a while, True. It is called Blank Stare News. Mm-hmm. You guys know those stories that you heard all week, whether you were browsing around online or at work, somebody told you and you just had a blank stare go across your face. Hit us up here, 49451. Let us know the blank stare news item that is on your mind right now. It's the Barbershop here on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Now back to the Barbershop, brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail and by the Trufant Family Foundation on Seattle Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Welcome back to the Barbershop show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. It's T. Holla and True, and my man Nathaniel went deep with the Rough Riders, man. Matter of fact, I got to be honest with you. I've never even heard this version. It sounds kind of like country.
It's very
Western.
clean.
Oh, it's the clean version.
It's the clean version. I got to be careful.
Like somebody made this beat at home. Like it sounds like country and Western.
Fruity Loops on the Fruity Loops.
It's still got the most important part of a DMX song, and that's the what?
Hey, listen, I got to tell y'all a story, and this is my pre-blank stare news story. Before we get into the blank stare news, as much as I love hip hop, man, I consider myself a hip hop junkie. I know all the trivia. I was there from day one. I used to break dance. I was into the DJing. I know all old school rap music to the new school rap music. I've never liked DMX.
What?
I have never liked DMX, not one day.
Have you not seen or heard the DMX, Jay-Z freestyle? I think it's one other person, but those two freestyling back and forth, that's
I have heard it, and I didn't like it.
That's lyricism at its finest, brother. Get it together. You call yourself a hip-hop head? How dare you?
He's going to beat me down. He's going to browbeat me. I just talked about one of the legends. I never did like him. He was just too extra to me. He was just, oh, that's tough. He doing all this. Why are you talking like this?
But you do your boy with the goatee, who's pretty much a rock star. But your boy Tech Nine is
I don't do Tech Nine either. I just did the concert.
Okay.
It's different. Like I've never went out and bought a Tech Nine CD or even a single. I think I might be able to name you one Tech Nine song, but I mean, he put on a hell of a show.
That's what I'm saying. That's what DMX does too.
I would never know because I'm never going. I hate DMX. I hate them.
Hating ass T.
I'm hating ass T. Hey, thank you guys for hanging out with us here. We got a few more minutes. We're going to do blank stare news. It's that part of the show where we talk about those stories we've been hearing all week that cause us to have a blank stare on our face, whether we were at work, sitting across the desk from somebody called you and told you some wild, way out stuff, you on the internet browsing around, and you just saw that story or heard that story that made you just be like, what? And this blank stare just came across your face. You can almost hear this music in the back of your head. It sounds like this. That's the blank stare news. If you guys have those stories, hit us up here, 49451. True, I think I'm going to get the ball going tonight on blank stare news because I saw this story and I immediately thought of you.
Word?
Yeah, I did. I think of you from time to time, man.
Okay,
you know, my boy, man. My guy, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
And I know for a long time this year, you've been trying to live a certain kind of lifestyle.
Right.
Okay? And we'll talk about that here in a second.
Keyword trying.
Trying. And but I mean, I'll give him credit. True is a soldier, a trooper when it comes to this.
I'm a soldier.
But I want to talk to you about a different athlete, a different ex-athlete by the name of Charles Barkley. Now, Charles Barkley is a character that does not believe in a lot of things. He does not believe in a lot of conspiracy theories. He doesn't believe in aliens. He doesn't believe in Bigfoot.
Okay.
He doesn't believe in the Loch Ness Monster.
Okay.
And there's one other thing that I found out this week that Charles Barkley does not believe in.
I need to call Ice Cube.
Vegetarians
for the victory.
You don't think there are actually vegetarians?
There's no such thing as a vegetarian. Nobody doesn't like meat, Ernie.
Prime form tonight. Coach.
It's not a thing. Nobody doesn't like meat.
He's a national treasure, I do have to say. Just the stuff he says before basketball games are just like, Where do you get this from?
Oh, the real. Who doesn't like me, True? Listen, that was you. You tried your hand at being a vegetarian, and you've been doing a very good job of it.
Well, this is my thing for Sir Charles, and even for you, T, because I see you laughing as you say this, like you poking fun
I'm not
at
poking.
me. As I'm trying to, I'm trying to better my life and trying to,
That's terrible. I would never do that.
live better. So, it's not a thing about not liking meat. It's about abstaining from meat. So, just saying no.
Like that time you came in with the burrito. The burrito, remember you like, I'm a vegetarian, come the next day. Is that a burrito?
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Like I said, trying. Ain't nobody perfect but Jesus. And I just said this many a time. We fight, but we all fall short.
Yes, of the glory. But your glory was terrible. You just, Kenny, come get these Brussels sprouts off my plate. True. That's Blankster News. Terrible. What you got, True?
How many we get? We got time. Do I got two of them?
Spill
or
it,
one?
yeah,
Okay,
go
well,
into it.
Well, I just let me grab my notes real quick, brother. Hold on.
You got to make sure you play the most important one, though.
I'm going to get it.
Nah,
okay.
So I wanted to go into, there was a story that came out about a ref, Carl Johnson, domestic violence charges were
not a laughing matter
filed against him. Not funny, and but as I dove into the story, a woman was accused of filing a false police report.
Ooh, never good.
So as if she was, some type of big-time mobster, or if she was on Law and Order, or if she was on one of these shows, she's trying to outsmart the police and file false reports to get this man banned from the NFL and, of course, going to jail. So I thought that was my blank stare, being with all the things that are going on in society right now with domestic violence, that a woman would come and attack a man with a false police report. So it's not funny, it's not a laughing matter, but I just thought that was outrageous and thought it was terrible.
Say what? I will agree. That is definitely a blank stare news item, True. Quit trying to put these men in jail, man. If they ain't did nothing, please keep it real.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't fire the ref. They didn't get rid of him. They allowed him to work. Despite the ongoing investigation, it came out that he was
innocent.
Innocent. So I love it.
Hey, I got one for you before we get to your next one, True. So real quick, there are different type of leaders in the locker room. I know you've seen all different kinds as you've gone along your way in the NFL. 10 years, you've seen them all, right? You have those that are all about that action. You have guys that are able to give a great rallying speech before the game to get you pumped up, fired up, just based on their words alone. Then you have a guy like a Jameis Winston.
After I say one thing, I want everybody to look at me. I'm going to pass it to Corn after I say one thing. Let's go. That's a W. Let's eat one. Let's eat one. That's a W. How many people want to eat a W tonight? How many eat a W tonight? Corn? Come in. That's all I want.
There's a sound in there of him licking his fingers for the listeners, just so you know.
Just so you know, you got to look on our Twitter page so you get the full visual. Barbershop Show _ and watch Jameis Winston in a circle of his teammates bite and suck his fingers into the shape of a W, saying that they were going to eat a W today. I was just so flabbergasted when I watched this, True, because I don't understand how, first of all, how do you eat a W, and how do you get pumped up by watching your quarterback, the leader of your organization, suck his fingers pregame in the shape of a W?
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
That is definitely my blank stare news item of the day.
What that mouth do, right?
What that mouth do, Jameis.
My blank stare, I'm going to just run it back one more time. Go with, is it LiAngelo? LiAngelo Ball for stealing in China from the Louis Vuitton store, and 10 years could be on his head. I doubt they're going to give it to him. I hope they don't give him that 10.
I pray they don't give it to him.
Out there, they go in on you. Hey, he better be lucky that he didn't get the Canaan and
they'd have him out there busting rocks.
The switch or stoned or something. Get it together. They don't play no games
You damn
out there.
right they don't play over there.
So that is definitely my blank stare for that young man for doing that out there. That's ridiculous. You'd be ashamed of yourself.
But still, you're going to jail now. Hey, on our way out of here from the 253, I heard Taco Bell is going to close the drive-thru and sell liquor. Sign me up.
What?
Drive-thru liquor.
They do that in New Orleans, though.
I know they do it down in Texas, too.
They got the drive-up daiquiri.
In Arkansas?
I heard.
I saw allegedly. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, man, thank you guys for joining us here in the Barbershop. Thank you for being a part of this thing that we do here. This movement is so special. We'll be back next Wednesday, but in case you get a chance to get out and watch the Seahawks game tomorrow live in person at the C-Link, True and I will be down there at Touchdown City before the game at the Sparkling Ice booth. Stop by and say hi to us. Until next week, it's the Barbershop on Sports Radio 950 KJR.